Just over a week, an era comes to an end. Philip Fulmer, 17 years as a head coach at Tennessee. One of his brightest moments, the 1998 National Championship. And today, he is in Nashville hoping his team can finish out the season strong against the bowl-eligible Vanderbilt Commodores. The Doors come in with 6 wins, and today will play host to the Tennessee Volunteers, a team looking to finish strong. We're coming your way from the Music City. It is our All-Tell Game of the Week right here on RAYCOM Sports. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. So glad you could join us from Nashville, Tennessee. Just a couple of weeks left here in the SEC regular season. They will all reconvene at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta for that championship tilt. But when you talk about this game, boy, talk about two different stories. Tennessee just trying to survive this 2008 campaign. But we have 2 outstanding players to take a look at today. Eric Berry, DJ Moore, 2 of the best defensive backs in the country, perhaps 2 of the best players in the country will go toe-to-toe. A guy I've gone toe-to-toe with all season. Joining us again, Dave Archer. And Dave, certainly when we watch the tape, these 2 guys stand out, and why not? DJ Moore last week was off the charts, National Player of the Week with a couple of touchdowns, couple of interceptions.
Well, to quantify DJ Moore, Dave, is just a defensive back, you'd be in a disservice, though the impact he's going to have on the game. He's going to catch the football, he's going to return kicks, and bowl eligible. He'll have a major impact today.
Well, we talked to Coach Philip Fulmer before this game, and his defensive back, Eric Berry, will also get a chance offensively today. We'll be anxious to see what kind of package that is, but you cannot underestimate his value to this team.
Arguably the best safety in the country, sophomore Eric Berry. 24 games, he's got 11 interceptions, and oh, by the way, he will thump you if you come in his area. The problem for Vanderbilt is his area is the entire football field. Eric Berry, a heart and soul of this defense in the secondary spot.
And a very good defense it is. Well, let's take a look at our Toyota keys to the game.
For Tennessee, they've got to find a way to get some steady quarterback play. The quarterback's coming in today for Tennessee, completing just 49% of their passes. We will see freshman B.J. Coleman today. And for Vanderbilt, they've been tremendous at cashing in opportunities. They're great in the red zone on offense and defense. They take the football away. They need to continue to cash it in on their opportunities today.
SEC football is presented in high definition where available by RAYCOM Sports. It is a cool, blustery day here in Nashville. Temperatures in the low 40s, wind chill somewhere in the low 30s. I don't have the exact temperature, but I can just tell you it's cold. It is a cold day, but we expect a fantastic football game today. Vanderbilt, of course, trying to get past becoming bowl eligible and focus in on this afternoon's tilt. Vandy won the toss, they deferred, so Tennessee will take the opening kick. Dennis Rogan gets hit at the 30-yard line, and that is where Tennessee will take over a 25-yard return. Well, the third member of our team, as he has been all season long, joins us down the sidelines. Dave Baker has more on Tennessee's talented tailback, Arian Foster.
Hey, Dave, good afternoon. You know, everybody's pointed to the troubles Tennessee has had offensively, and they've pointed to the quarterback. But Arian Foster, he was projected to be a second-round pick last year, decided to come back. You see there, he's 3rd on the Tennessee all-time rushing list, and he's only had 1 100-yard game this year. And as we get this one going, he's not in the starting lineup. A big day today, Dave. Cooters.
Second down and 10 yards coming up for the Vols. That pass is picked off. Myron Lewis intercepts Jonathan Crompton. The 4th interception for Lewis.
That's a poor read by defense at taking the ball away.
The 17th interception by this Vanderbilt secondary, or Vanderbilt defense. That's 2nd in the Southeastern Conference. They are +8 now in their turnover margin. And now Chris Nixon takes over at quarterback for the Commodores, coming off a great week. Nice cold morning here in the Music City, but everybody having a good time as Tennessee and Vanderbilt battle again for the 103rd time in this series. And Vanderbilt will have the football, their opening drive after the interception from Myron Lewis. Chris Nixon out of the shotgun. Nixon on a quarterback keeper, dancing around. Takes it down to the 28-yard line. He will pick up about 6 on that carry. Take a look at our Budweiser starting lineups.
Now, Sean Walker, one of those receivers they hope can step up and help create season up front. They've done a nice job in front of their quarterbacks.
One quick note about Tennessee and their opening drives. They have yet to score this year on an opening drive. They've 6 punts and now 4 turnovers. Here's DJ Moore. DJ Moore will take it down to the 26-yard line, but a flag comes in. Right where Brandon Barden, the tight end, is standing.
Right, Dave. Brandon Barden, the tight end, was split out wide trying to get a block for DJ Moore, and he held on.
Steve Shaw, our referee today, better known in our circles as TV Steve.
Is that right?
Always on the big games.
Illegal block in the back. Number 87 on the offense.
And they used him tremendously last week. He was huge.
A couple of touchdown receptions and a big third down catch as well that set up a late field goal. So it'll be second down now and 14. Quick slant, and a flag comes in. Intended target
at the corner spot.
Well, first down and 10 now for Vanderbilt. In motion is Moore. They'll play fake to him. Nixon spins and is dropped at the 35-yard line. Nevin McKenzie. That is the 8th tackle for loss for Nevin McKenzie, the senior out of San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, and it all started great for Nevin McKenzie. Early in the year, intercepted the pass against UCLA and returned it for a touchdown. And Nixon actually has Barden open down through the middle and just does not turn it loose. He got in behind safety to meet behind Morley, the safety, and he just did not turn it loose.
So they're going to call that a sack for Nevin McKenzie. That'll be his 4th sack of the season. Handoff left side. Jeff Jennings, the senior out of Dandridge, Tennessee, with the carry. Robert Ayers brings him down.
Let's look at Robert Ayers. We just talked about him. You see him throwing the defender, throwing the blocker out of the way. Very active guy. We talked to Tennessee about him. He's one of those motor guys. He just constantly plays at a higher level than the guy lined up in front of him, and that's why he's been in opposition backfields all year long.
Look at our Academy Sports down and distance marker telling you it's 3rd and 13 for the Doors. They are 8th in the conference in 3rd down conversions this year. Nixon dodging a couple defenders, gets back to inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line, right about the original line of scrimmage. Eric Berry able to bring him down.
Well, defensive coordinator John Chavis dialed up some pressure, and Alec Wilson is going to come clean through the middle. Good job of Chris Nixon to avoid the tackle and get back upfield to try to minimize the damage, but good job by Alec Wilson. You know, when you blitz like that, David, very important that you hit the gap you're responsible for, execute the blitz properly. The only thing he didn't get done there was wrap up the quarterback.
So Brett Upson to punt it away. The junior out of Griffin, Georgia, averaging 40.4 yards per punt. Dennis Rogan stands at the 10. It is a line drive end over end kick that works perfectly. How about that kick? That'll set up Tennessee's offense at the 4-yard line. But the Tennessee defense, as they've done all season, stands tall despite the interception. Back after a word from your local stations. Today's game is brought to you by Alltel, the official wireless partner of fans. So Tennessee will take over here at Vanderbilt Stadium with their second possession. Their first one did not go very well. Second play, an interception. And luckily for Tennessee, their defense able to shut down Vanderbilt. And now they've backed up inside the 5. Jonathan Crompton stays in at quarterback. Handoff goes to the fullback, Kevin Cooper. And we didn't have a chance to take a look at our Budweiser lineups defense.
Not DJ Moore, but Ryan Hamilton. Tremendous safety, started 29 consecutive games.
Toss sweep, Hardesty cuts it back inside. He'll get 3 on the play. Greg Billinger, a junior out of Lilburn, Georgia, able to bring him down.
It's rare when you talk about 2 SEC football teams, you talk about their defensive strength as their secondary. Both these teams, the strong part of their defense would be their secondary, and Vanderbilt has 2 safeties that will come up and bang with you as well. We talked about Ryan Hamilton, Rashad Langford starting his 45th consecutive game at safety. The 2 corners have started 22 consecutive games, so this is a group that's been together for a long time.
You see some of the woes offensively for Tennessee, and it's been in third downs. They rank 100th in the country. Here's Crompton rolling near side. Will tuck it and get hit at about the 12.5-yard line by Brooks. Who will have a bigger impact on the game? That's a good question. Eric Berry or DJ Moore? We know they will be involved today. That is for sure. Text your answer to S1 or S2 to 55333. We'll update the results a little bit later this half. Eric Berry with a J. Moore. So Britton Colquitt will come in to punt it away. Britton averaging 44.3 yards per punt. Had a long of 71 earlier this year against South Carolina. Good high kick. Jamie Graham will field the punt at the 40 and take it out to the 45.5-yard line. So once again, good field position for the Vanderbilt offense. We will come back and see how they do. Stay with us on RAYCOM Sports. SEC football is brought to you in part by Nissan and your local Nissan dealer. Taking a look at the Country Music Hall of Fame, about a mile down the road from where we are here in Nashville at Vanderbilt Stadium. Tennessee and Vanderbilt. This Tennessee Vandy series goes all the way back to 1892. Tennessee leads at 69-28. There were 5 ties as well. So Vanderbilt, first play on the second possession, inside handoff to Jared Hawkins, the team's leading rusher, with 571 yards on the ground. But Arch, this Tennessee defense has been good all season.
Well, they came in ranked 7th in the nation in total defense, and that's really says something about them. They've done a nice job here early in this football game, but to know what they've gone through offensively, the struggles they've had offensively, to be as good as they are on defense is unbelievable. It says a lot about John Chavis right there, defensive coordinator for Tennessee.
Second down, Nixon. Quarterback sweep to midfield. It's a couple on the play. That'll bring up a third down and about 4. And Evan McKenzie able to stretch it out and make the play for Tennessee. Bill Fulmer telling us before the game today that they just have to have some offense, however they can do it, because they can't keep this defense backed up against the wall every single game.
Now, they've already started to do that in this game. The interception, and then the offense is unable to get a first down, and here the defense is again scrimmaging around midfield, and they forced now a conversion situation here for Vanderbilt, converting just 36% of the time.
Vanderbilt has run 6 plays. They've all been on the ground. See what they do here on 3rd and 4. And a loose football. The beanbags hit the turf. Let's see who has it. Tennessee will have it at the 45.
Boy, what a nice job by Rico McCoy, the linebacker, to fill on the quarterback draw. The fake coming across the formation to Walker. There's the fake, and now it's just straight through the middle, and there is Rico McCoy. Big hit. And then the ball is ripped out as Nixon reaches for extra yardage, and Alex Wilson, the middle linebacker, comes with about to fill now these linebackers for Tennessee.
The previous play is under further review.
Here's another look at that fumble.
Rico McCoy's going to come up and make the initial hit. Now, Nixon now going to reach and try to get some yardage. It looked like he fell on top of one of his own players.
Boy, it's just hard to see. You can't really see where the knee is.
And again, that goes back. It was called a fumble on the field. So if you don't see anything in those shots, you're not going to be able to reverse that if you're an official.
You know, I've already said today, Arch, I wasn't going to comment on the reviews because I'm like
Tennessee.
So the Vols will have the football. Philip Fulmer will send in B.J. Coleman at quarterback. It's been talked about all week. B.J. had some work last week in a JV game against Hargrave last weekend, where he completed 22 of 31 for 325 yards, a couple of touchdowns. So the redshirt freshman out of Chattanooga getting a chance here today in the first quarter, and he has good field position to work with. So the Vols have flipped the field on Vanderbilt. First play, a handoff. Arian Foster gets the carry. Broderick Stewart comes up with the tackle for Vanderbilt. So Arian Foster on the field, his first carry today. Of course, he's trying to chase down that Tennessee's all-time rushing record.
Just under 1,200 yards rushing last year and 12 touchdowns for Arian Foster. This has had a tough year. This whole offense has.
He carried it 245 times last year, 99 this year. Gerald Jones in at quarterback. Or excuse me, Eric Berry in at quarterback. And here goes Berry, takes the handoff, making some people miss, and Berry inside the 45 to the 44-yard line.
Dave, you mentioned that Eric Berry, you had a chance to talk to Philip Fulmer right before kickoff, and he mentioned that Eric Berry is going to do some of this in whatever you want to call the formation, the wild Vol formation, wherever you want to call it. But Eric Berry, a tremendous athlete. We mentioned what he does on the defensive side of the football, but trying to make an impact. Both these coaches reach into their best athletes to try to make an impact, and Eric Berry, one of those guys.
Well, one of the things Coach Fulmer told us was that there is no magic dust, but maybe there is a little magic with B.J. Coleman at quarterback and maybe an Eric Berry at quarterback, trying to crank something up. Berry will take it again. Looking for the sweep to the far side. It's about 1.5 yards. DJ Moore runs him out of bounds.
His counterpart. Boy, these two guys, DJ Moore and Eric Berry. Here Berry takes the direct snap at quarterback out of the gun, just a sweep for him, but there's DJ Moore to bump him out of bounds. Mutual admiration society between those two.
Yeah, when I asked Eric Berry on our meetings earlier this week, I said, what stands out to you about Vanderbilt in terms of their offense, what you've seen on tape? And he started laughing, and he goes, 17, meaning DJ Moore, who got some snaps last week against Kentucky. Coleman makes a man miss, spins out of it and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Loses about 1.5 yards, however. Broderick Stewart with yet another tackle.
Well, Broderick Stewart is going to create the pressure off the edge against the boot. Tremendous job of getting in Coleman's face, and really a nice athletic play by Coleman. They talked about what a good athlete Coleman is, his ability to pull it down and take off if there's no throw, and he did a nice job there to minimize a bad play.
So Coleman looking at a 3rd down and 10. Commodores really shut down Kentucky on 3rd downs a week ago. Here comes some pressure from the outside. Moore, it's picked up, a flag is down, pass caught over the middle. Lucas Taylor falls to the 26-yard line. That will be a 1st down if the play stands up. And according to our spotter, Kim Anderson, he spotted Steven Stone, the defensive end from Vandy, perhaps lining up in the neutral zone. See how good Kim is.
Yeah.
Put it on him right now. Oh.
Illegal formation. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Number 79 was not up on the line. That'll be a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 3rd down.
These are the kind of mistakes that have plagued this. A lot of times you see these tackles rock back in that pass protection stance.
Well, Arch, if you watch a game, you watch any game, and during the course of the game, how much those tackles end up getting bowed back into the backfield. They may start lined up properly, but by the end of the game, they're almost like tight ends in motion. Gerald Jones in motion. B.J. Coleman. I believe there will be a timeout taken by Tennessee. Yes.
Timeout.
B.J. was looking to
Tennessee,
the sidelines.
That's their first timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second
So on 3rd down and 15,
timeout.
Tennessee will talk about it, and we will return after this. And they've had a couple of 7-win seasons as well. They've got a chance to match that 8-win season if they can win here today, and then, of course, finish the season up against Wake Forest. On a 3rd and 15, pass is dropped by Luke Stocker. He would have been well shy of the 1st down anyway. But Tennessee will now be forced to punt.
Well, the penalty puts them in a hole. They get the call for not enough men on the line of scrimmage, and then the drop in the flat. Stockers had a tough time catching the ball consistently all year long. We saw a game earlier in the year we had a couple of drops, and young tight end they think a lot of. In fact, they've actually compared him to a guy with the Cowboys. It's not bad, and Jason Witten.
So Colquitt will punt it away again. Alex Washington and Jamie Graham back to return it. Fair catch called for and taken by Alex Washington. Punted and was a defensive back. You know, of course, legendary status. Still talked about today.
Yeah, he played a little tight end for the Raiders.
Of course, being honored today. He and that 1958 team that won the national title over in Baton Rouge. Here's Nixon on a keeper, and he gets hammered at about the 17-yard line. Robert Ayers comes in to make the tackle for the Vols.
Well, it's a nice job on the end by Nevin McKenzie, the linebacker, that forces Nixon to keep this to the inside. Really kind of took away the pitch. And when Nixon turned back to the inside, Nevin McKenzie was all over him.
Vanderbilt is still yet to throw a pass, I believe, in this game. Yeah, they have not thrown a pass as of yet on 2nd down and 9. They will continue on the ground. Here's Hawkins. Out over the 20 to the 23-yard line. Brought down by Dan Williams. And it looks like Hawkins going to hobble off. The team's leading rusher, the junior out of Spring, Texas. And that'll bring Jeff Jennings back on the field, the senior. Look at Ted Kane to the right on your screen, the offensive coordinator trying to dial something up here for this Vandy offense that averages 21 points a game, which is 8th in the league. But good, they haven't had to score a ton. Nixon stands in the pocket and is dropped back at the 15. Walter Fisher able to bring him down eventually.
Yeah, good initial pressure from Nevin McKenzie, the linebacker. Dave, you talked about him being in the backfield. He's been back there all year long, and again, gets around the neck of Chris Nixon. And he gets some of his mates to rally and help him as Fisher puts him on the ground.
Big Walter, 6'3", 280-pound senior, coming back home to play here in Nashville. Nearly blocked. And Dennis Rogan dropped at the 35-yard line. Boy, this year, Arch, we've seen a lot of 2-quarterback systems, and here's a look at some guys that have played some and sat some. And down at the bottom, Mackenzie Adams and Chris Nixon. Nixon, of course, started the year, then gave way to Adams, and now Nixon back in charge. But what do you think about that? I mean, that seems like a ton of teams trying to figure it out.
Well, what it's telling you is they're just not getting a lot of consistent quarterback play. The only senior on that board was Chris Nixon for Vanderbilt playing the quarterback. The rest of them are underclassmen, and all those schools trying to find a guy that's going to be consistent, squeeze the trigger for them.
Tennessee now has played 3 quarterbacks. Big hole for Lyndon Creer. Give him 11. That'll be a first down out to the 47-yard line. Rashard Langford brings him down.
Just a lead play, a lead draw play, and Lyndon Creer gets a great block up front right there by the fullback on Benoit. Whoa. Tremendous hole, great block on Benoit, clears the hole, and then Creer into the secondary.
That was a huge hole and a big hit as well in that secondary, but Tennessee will have the first down out over the 45-yard line. Creer, another big hole, battling his way to the Vandy 45. Give him 8 before Patrick Benoit drops him, the team's leading tackler at 83 coming in today.
This is a big offensive line. We talked about how long they've been together. The left tackle, Scott, 24 consecutive starts. Josh McNeil, the center, 34 consecutive starts. Anthony Parker, 35 regular season consecutive starts. And Raymond Foster, the right tackle, 24 consecutive starts. So this is a group that there's no mysteries. There's nothing you're painting up there that they haven't seen before. Only averaging 3.4 yards a rush, though, this year.
Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by ICB Construction Management, located in Choctaw, Mississippi. By the way, Ramon Foster, 6'6", 325. He's a hoss, clearing some more space for Creer. Still driving inside the 35. They will blow the play dead. His forward progress takes him down to the 33 of Vanderbilt. Langford will get credit for the stop.
Now, Lennon Creer came on against Wyoming and carried the ball 16 times for 82 yards. So he has started to become that guy that they're giving the ball to a little bit more. Good job of getting into the second level, and then the two safeties, Hamilton and Langford, trying to put him on the ground.
Boy, and Ramon Foster again moving people out of the way. And that'll be the last play of the opening quarter. Tennessee into Vanderbilt territory. We thought we would have a relatively low-scoring affair with these two defenses. That's what we have to this point. The 103rd renewal of Vanderbilt in Tennessee. It's our all-tell game of the week. Second quarter football just around the corner from the Music City. It is perfect football weather. The leaves are changing colors and falling. I know that. I spent some time in the yard raking them this past week, but this is classic football weather as Tennessee moves on 1st and 10. The opening play of the second quarter. Handoff to Creer. Breaking a couple of tackles. Still driving. Gets it down to the 30, maybe inside the 30-yard line. And Arch, not much happening offensively here as we look at our first quarter statistics.
Well, an important number for Tennessee, though, is they've got their ground game cranked up. With the problems they're having at quarterback, running the football going to be paramount for Tennessee today, and they've been able to do that. Get the ground game cranked up. You see Creer, 32 yards, 3 carries. They've done a nice job with that.
I have never seen, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I haven't seen it. First quarter of football, and neither team has a passing yard. It's your kind of football, isn't it? Second down, and we'll say 6.5. There's Coleman falling forward to the 27-yard line, tripped up by Greg Billinger.
Yeah, nice job by Billinger there to get his hands around. Excellent job of getting people lined up. And this is a defense that really has been very opportunistic this year.
Benoit, second in the SEC in tackles.
Trying to go with you guys.
Here's Coleman. Breaks a tackle inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line. First down, Volunteers. Greenstone brings him down, but move the chains.
Well, we talked about something that Coleman brings to the table that the other quarterbacks don't, and it's an athletic ability and a little toughness. He's a redshirt freshman. Does a nice job of coming in and making a play.
Boy, look at the Tennessee offense as they are starting to warm up on this cold day. Nowhere to go on their first 3 possessions, but moving the football here. On 1st and 10. Handoff left side. Creer down to about the 12-yard line. Time to take a look at our first red zone, powered by Honda Generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. We look at what Tennessee has done this season. They are 11th in the conference in terms of touchdowns in the red zone. They are 15 out of 30 in the touchdown department. Not very good numbers. And in their last 3 trips, in the last 2 games, over the last 2 games, they have gone a combined 2 for 3 with a couple of touchdowns. On 2nd down and 5. Coleman, the quarterback keeper. Spins, ball's forward, down to about the 7.5-yard line. Ryan Hamilton with the tackle.
Well, that second effort by Coleman got him the first down. Again, they're spreading Vanderbilt out. Vanderbilt comes in with nickel. Hamilton crashes in from the safety spot to try to make the play on Coleman. Coleman spun out of the tackle. Let's go down and talk to Dave Baker.
Closed captioning is provided. Sandwich. 3rd down and 1. At about the 8-yard line. Montario Hardesty checks in at tailback. Coleman is your quarterback. It's Hardesty off the right side. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Boy, tremendous push off the Tennessee right side. Dave, you mentioned Ramon Foster at 6'6", 325. He is going to bury the right side, and Hardesty goes through virtually untouched. Hamilton got a hand on him from the backside. Number 2 gets a hand on him, but Hardesty, for the most part, goes in untouched right off of Ramon Foster.
So Daniel Lincoln in to attempt the point after. He is now 17 out of 17 in that department this year. And Tennessee behind the 6th rushing touchdown of the season for Montario Hardesty. Take a lead, 7-0. The Vols out in front of the doors. We'll come back to Nashville after a word from your local stations.
Is ticking. Now through the end of the year, you can get up to $8,500 cash allowance on 2008 models. Plus, get a no extra charge DVD on select Dodge Grand Caravan models. And we have hundreds of financing options available. Hurry in to your local Dodge dealer to get up to $8,500 in combined cash allowance on Ram 1500. The year-end sell-a-thon is on at your Dodge dealer, so hurry in before 2008 is over.
I'm Saxby.
Take a look at our Texas Pete scoring drive. 9 plays, 65 yards. Every one of those plays on the ground. Montario Hardesty with an 8-yard touchdown run. And how about this for Tennessee? You have to go all the way back to Mississippi State game to find the last lead for Tennessee. 198 minutes and 35 seconds since they've had a lead in a game.
Wow. That's what Philip Fulmer just said. Wow.
Wow. But they have the lead now. Let's see if they can hold on to it. They've got the defense that's been very good. They haven't played with a lead very often all season. Chad Cunningham will kick it off for Tennessee. DJ Moore, one of the 2 back, along with Josh Allen. It will be Moore at the 4. DJ Moore takes it out to the 26.5-yard line. Give him a 22-yard return. But let's go back to that touchdown, Arch.
Well, Dave, let's look at this execution. We're going to get a clear down. Here's Cottom, the tight end, Foster, the tackle. They're going to clear it down. Now these 2 guys are coming out. We get a kick out, fullback clear through.
Well, that's just how you drew it up.
Now, good job by Cooper and Johnston. Johnson was in at an H-back position. He was an extra fullback. He got the kick-out block. Cooper led up through, and Hardesty goes in untouched.
So Vanderbilt with 1 first down today, and that came on a penalty. Nixon throws it away as he is in the grasp. He's outside the tackle box, and the ball got past the line of scrimmage. So no flag. Wes Brown putting the pressure on Nixon. That was the first official pass attempt today. Let's go downstairs to Dave Baker. Buzz?
You know, Dave, when we talked with offensive coordinator Ted Kane yesterday, he talked about not trying to put too much on this young offensive line. After that last series, a very animated conversation between Bradley Vierling, the center, and Eric Hensley, the right guard, getting all kinds of confusion with what John Chavis is doing with these changing fronts and his blitz package, especially when Vandy gets behind the chain.
Here's Jennings, nothing happening there. That'll bring up a 3rd down. And going back to that discussion, Buzz, in our meetings, you know, one of the things that we also gathered here is that John Chavis's defense is going to throw a bunch of stuff at you. Kentucky kind of lined up and played kind of safe last week, but this is a different monster this week.
It really is, and it's a group that's playing well with a lot of confidence. We mentioned they're 7th in the country in total defense. They have not struggled at all this year defensively. They go to a 3-down line here, and you're talking about different looks now. 3-down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs in the game for Tennessee.
Alex Wilson, leading tackler, to the sidelines. Looks like he's banged up a little bit. Speaking of banged up, Jennings takes one from Eric Berry right on the hip. And Jennings slow to get up.
They tried to throw a little swing screen to the left side, coming right at you here. Going to try to get a couple linemen out in front, and Berry just beats the offensive lineman out in front to Jennings. Trying to get out in front, Riley Lauer on the swing screen, but Berry read it, closed, and made the play.
So the Doors lose 5 on that possession. Here comes a flag. It looks like some movement against that Vanderbilt front. Boy, it has just not gone well for that man today.
Before the snap, false start, number 29 on the offense, 5-yard penalty. It remains 4th down.
And we also had a chance to talk to Bobby Johnson right before kickoff today, and we, went back to the discussion. Have you got your team focused again? Because there was such jubilation in the locker room last week to become bowl eligible. A little slow out of the gates today.
I think he kind of depended on his older guys.
Boy, that is a dead shank. Brett Upson into the stands. That one went. Not a very long punt. They will spot it at the 35-yard line. Time now to update our Alltel Text of War poll. We're asking you the question, who will have a bigger impact in the game? DJ Moore of Vanderbilt, Eric Berry of Tennessee. And right now, Eric Berry out in front with a sizable margin over DJ Moore. Be sure to text your answer to S1 or S2 to 55333. As always, thanks for playing Alltel's Text of War. So outstanding field position for B.J. Coleman, who hands it off to Hardesty, breaking some tackles. DJ Moore will try to chase him down. Hardesty dropped at the 8 by Moore. A 29-yard pickoff from Montario Hardesty.
Well, this is a tremendous block on the counter play. I want you to watch the fullback right there, Cooper. Right out in front, number 45 gets the block on Benoit, the linebacker, and Hardesty is into the secondary.
You know what, Arch? This is an amazing number. In the first 4 games, Tennessee had 7 runs over 20 yards. In their last 6, that was just their 2nd rush over 20 yards. Jones in motion, out of the eye. They'll go back to Hardesty. He gets met at the line, breaks a couple of tackles, and then loses a yard or 2. That time, Vandy stuck with it. Chris Marv will get credit for the tackle. We take a look at a red zone powered by Honda Generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. You look at the Vanderbilt defense in the red zone, Arch, they've been very good.
Well, we talked about how opportunistic they've been. They've done a nice job when the field constricts. It gets down close. They use the sideline and the back line as an extra defender on defense, and they did a nice job of keeping people out of the end zone. Obviously, just 17 TDs and 34 trips inside.
Out of the eye again, and off to Hardesty. He will take it down to about the 7.5-yard line. John Stokes from his outside backer spot makes the tackle along with Broderick Stewart.
Another guy that's having a good game right now for Tennessee is number 45, Kevin Cooper, the fullback, doing an excellent job as Broderick Stewart, the big defensive end, is still down on the field for Vandy. But we're gonna have to track number 45, Kevin Cooper. He's been on the last couple of runs that have been successful for Tennessee.
We are back at a very somber Vanderbilt Stadium as Broderick Stewart, who is
to him now as he crashes to the inside. He's going to try to get his back to the play and close the hole down, but he's going to take a shot from his own player right there and get folded over backwards and folds up on that left leg.
Down Tennessee that has run an offense that's run 22 plays, 20 of those have been on the ground. So Theron Kadri checks in at that defensive end spot in place of Broderick Stewart. Out of the shotgun, B.J. Coleman. Here comes some heat from Vanderbilt. Coleman to throw, and it's nearly intercepted by the safety, Rashard Langford. Patrick Benoit gets in there to force the pressure on the quarterback.
What great pressure. Benoit and Hamilton are going to come. Benoit's going to get just enough of the ball, tipped it enough where Langford had a chance to pick it off. Watch Benoit reach for the right arm, and he got the football before Coleman could get it out, and Langford almost came up with it.
On the way for Daniel, the sophomore out of Ocala, Florida, 8 out of 15 this year in the field goal department. And this one is on the way, and it is good. So Tennessee has put 10 points on the board, and they lead it by that number. We will return to Nashville after this from the SEC. 5-yard field goal. Look at our Texas Pete scoring drive. The Vols did not have to go very far, just 27 yards. 5 plays, just a little under 2 minutes on that drive. But back-to-back scoring opportunities for Tennessee, and they've taken advantage. Cunningham, a low line drive kick. That will be picked up by Josh Allen. Allen's got some running room. Allen to the 45, out to the 47-yard.
Been all over him today, just no room to run. Done a nice job of cutting off the bootleg, which is a forte of what he likes to do. And then the quarterback draw, it seems like there's a Tennessee defender in every hole. That time Eric Berry puts the lick on the quarterback.
Look at the total yards. 4. Here's DJ Moore trying to add to that total, and he might have lost a yard. Walter Fisher in on the tackle again for Tennessee. Look at the possessions today for this Vanderbilt offense. Their last one lost 10 yards.
Well, and you look at these two starting positions for this one and this one, you're talking about Tennessee 34 and near midfield the second time, and nothing to show for it. Says a lot about what Tennessee's been able to do defensively.
You know, you're looking at a quarterback too, and Chris Nixon, that had a season high 273 yards against Kentucky, 155 of those through the air, 118 on the ground on 20 carries. Nixon will throw. Low throw, looking for Sean Walker. That'll be incomplete. D'Angelo Willingham on the coverage for Tennessee, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 10.
Well,
here was Chris Nixon last week against Kentucky. Timeout on 3rd down and 10. Play clock was at 2. And they couldn't get that play off with 6:47 to go here in the opening half. There is Ted Kane, the offensive coordinator. Well, next week we will wrap up our season in Oxford, Mississippi at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. It's the battle for the Golden Egg, which is an intense rivalry. We found that out last year on that last-second win as the Bulldogs won it. And don't forget that you can log on to RAYCOMsports.com and click on the Regions Bank Road Trip Planner for the quickest routes and all the info you need traveling around the SEC. Arch, where does Vanderbilt go offensively? I mean, it's a disaster today.
well, the situation, the problem is, and we talked with Ted Kane about it yesterday, is the confidence level of his quarterback. Chris Nixon's ebb and flow, his confidence goes up and down dramatically. Right now, he's not very confident. He's not turning the ball loose on time. That last throw, he had Walker open. He waited too long to throw it. Subsequently, the ball was in the ground with the defender closing.
On 3rd downs, Vanderbilt 0 for 4 today. They're looking at a 3rd and 10. Nixon dancing around, looking for somebody. Great coverage by Tennessee. Flag comes in. Finally, the pass is caught by Barden, the tight end. Alex Wilson saying that this one will be coming back. It's a 14-yard pickup, but I don't think it'll stay.
Holding, number 66 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous.
That's DJ Moore in motion. Nixon. 4-man rush, gets to him. He lofts it up, and it's picked off by guess who? Eric Berry. Nobody will touch him. Touchdown, Tennessee. 45 yards.
What is it about this guy? When he picks one off, it's a huge return. But Berry does a nice job. He's sitting in the middle. Rico McCoy, the linebacker, gets the pressure. And just an ill-advised throw, obviously, by Nixon. You got to squeeze that football, eat the football there, play another day. He lofts it up, and Berry's all over it.
7 interceptions for Eric Berry this year. 2 have gone back for touchdowns. The SEC's all-time leading interception return yard man. It's hard to say. Difficult for a guy like me.
As many yards as he got, you got it.
Right.
There it is. Unbelievable.
And he's just a sophomore.
Well, you mentioned this is his 25th career game, his 12th interception of his career. Number 14 in the middle of the field, just eyeballs the football, goes and gets it. Really no mystery to it. He's sitting in the middle playing kind of a linebacker spot when they came with their nickel group. And Berry's such a great athlete. We saw him on offense. Once he gets clean, he's going to get in the end zone. He's just reading the quarterback's eyes, break on the football, take it back. And he's taking it back to the tune of almost 500 yards in his career.
Just a sophomore. He is now, I guess you could say he's all by himself in the interception department in the country with number 7. He came in tied for first with 6 other guys, but the early game today may give him the lead. Let's go downstairs, check in with Dave Baker.
Hey, Dave, you know, when we talked to John Chavis the other day, he was obviously very emotional about what's going on. We'll get to that a little bit later, but he was also immensely proud of what this defense has done, you know, and with the exception of Eric Berry, there's no real bell cow on this defense. They certainly don't have that big-name guy, you know, that they've had in the front like a Hainsworth or some others. But he talked about what these guys have done in terms of playing through injury and pain, and he said they haven't done everything perfectly, but they complement each other oh so well, and that's just another example, and they've really dominated this first half.
Boy, they dominate is the appropriate word. It has been all Tennessee, and it didn't look that way early as Crompton threw an interception on the second play of the game. Here's Moore trying to answer the Eric Berry touchdown. Didn't get very far. Well, Geico is canvassing the country this year to get the fans' input on all the best moments of the two.
Adams is standing, helmet ready, but Chris Nixon is back in at quarterback, and they've got Ted Kane's got to try to find a way to get this kid some confidence, some easy throws, but Tennessee is not allowing that to happen. Tight coverage.
Vandy's last 2 possessions, 6 plays, minus 20 yards, and now a loose football. It's on the turf, and Nixon falls at the 15-yard line. That'll be a loss of 10. Wes Brown will get credit for the tackle.
Well, that's a good snap. Just took his eyes off the football to look down the field and was really lucky to kind of corral it back in before Tennessee, and Tennessee smells blood in the water now on defense.
It's almost like Chris Nixon looks confused, and it's, you know, it's weird to say that about a 5th-year senior.
Yeah, there's some confusion because Tennessee does do some things in the secondary, but really what it is his confidence. His confidence goes up and down too much for a quarterback.
McCoy putting a little pressure on Nixon. That pass incomplete, looking for Jeff Jennings.
This is not the scenario if you're Vanderbilt and Bobby Johnson you want to have yourself in. Obviously you don't like being behind any, but down 17-0 with an offense that has struggled to put points on the board.
So now you're looking at a 3rd down and 20. They had a 3rd down and 20 on their last possession. Nixon trying to do it by himself, and will get back to the 19-yard line. Give him 4 on that, but that'll bring up a 4th down and 16 situation as the clock goes under 5 minutes and stops at 4:51.
Well, this is a situation as a play call. You're not sure what your quarterback's going to do with the ball, so you just give it to him. He's an athlete, let him run it. 3rd and long. Don't want to throw the football away again, and you're into the field. Just, you know, try to get as much yards as you can and punt it and play defense.
So Brett Upson will punt it away. Last one was kind of a shank. This one into the wind, not much better. Hits at the 50 and spins back. That is indicative of how the first half has gone for the Commodores today. A 25-yard punt. 4:33 to go before halftime. Well, all season long, our good friends from Rascal Flatts have opened rascalflats.com. Tennessee will have it. 1st and 10 from the 45. Coleman to throw. Hits his fullback, Kevin Cooper. Rashard Langford brings him down. Cooper's 7th reception of the year. He had 4 in the first game against UCLA, which seems like years ago.
Well, and it's a nice job of getting him the football, because Kevin Cooper is one of the main reasons why Tennessee has been successful running the football today. Get a little crumb to your fullback, so he's ready to go back to work blocking.
That completion by Tennessee was their first of the game, the 2nd overall in the contest. Gerald Jones, now the G-gun. Dancing around, and Gerald takes it to the 35-yard line, and that'll pick up a 1st down. They'll spot it at about the 34.
Well, Tennessee trying to find a way to generate offense. And we've seen Eric Berry at quarterback. Obviously Coleman and Crompton have played. Now Gerald Jones, and this is a package they've had for a number of years. Gerald's done a nice job with Dave, you call it the G gun, that's what they call it. Put Gerald Jones in at quarterback. He does a nice job with their running game, and he will throw it out of that formation.
Arian Foster in at tailback. Haven't seen a lot of Arian today. Trying to work the right side, and he has stood up at the 35-yard line. Probably lost a yard. DJ Moore already with 5 stops today. DJ with 48 tackles now on the season. Single setback is Foster. And as B.J. Coleman to see. And now the Vols looking at a 3rd down and 17. Coleman will stand in the shotgun. Pressure comes again. Do a little screen to Jones. Dancing around to the 34-yard line, right at the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a 4th down and 10. Greg Billinger finally tracks him down, and maybe you're in a 2-down situation here with 1:45 to go before halftime. Or do you try to pin him down and take the 17-point lead and call it a half?
I think you go for it here.
It's the whole thing. What do you got to lose at this point?
Well, it's a situation where if you're Tennessee, your defense has played extremely well. So you go ahead and maybe roll the dice a little bit, give your Tennessee and give your offense an opportunity to convert.
Daniel Lincoln has missed all 3 field goal attempts this year from beyond 50 yards. And they will use their final timeout to talk about it here.
Tennessee, that's their final timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
And you look at Philip Fulmer, just 7 days left as the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. And when you begin to think about what this man has accomplished, look at the names that he is on that list with. The 7th winningest coach in the Southeast in the history of this league. Bear Bryant, Johnny Vaught, Vince Dooley, Steve Spurrier, Shug Jordan, and Philip Fulmer. I mean, that folks, that is the best that have coached in the history of the game.
Well, it's a tough business. Let's not forget Philip Fulmer guided his team to a 10-4 record last year, and really a play or two from beating the eventual national champion LSU Tigers in the SEC title game last year.
And I think what he said when he had his announcement about he can't stand to see his alma mater being torn apart like it is why he's stepping away. Just kind of sums it up. So Britton Colquitt now will come on and try the long field goal perhaps. The punter from 51. He will try to kick it through the uprights. And that will be short and off to the right. So Colquitt gets an opportunity. And Vanderbilt will have 1:08 to go before halftime. While we have a minute, want to send out our best to Haywood Harris, a long-time sports information director at Tennessee, longtime member of that university, back at home, a little under the weather, back at home watching the game in Knoxville. And I believe I heard that this is the first Tennessee Vandy game that Haywood has missed since 1961. But Haywood, we're thinking about you. Get better. See you at the basketball arena shortly. Mackenzie Adams checks in at quarterback for the Commodores, and his first pass is caught, a completion. So a 7-yard pickup. Adams will throw it again. This time pass is caught. Nice. Adams over the middle looking for Jennings, incomplete. That'll stop the clock.
Look at that ankle more in depth, and of course Stewart with a significant ankle injury is what they're saying. But when you see that air cast come out, he was in good spirits, but his year's done.
Thank you, Buzz. Here's Barden, the tight end. He's tripped up at the 48, a gain of about 3.5 by Rogan, but Vandy's going to have to use their timeout to stop the clock.
That's their final timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Thank you, Steve Shaw. We'll go to Yahoo Sports to see over 50 RAYCOM Sports, SEC football and basketball.
Guy during the year that has really lit a fire in Vanderbilt. Dave, you mentioned
he made 2 spectacular throws to Jamie Graham for touchdowns in that particular game. And he has thrown the ball a little bit, even though the percentages might say it, might not show it, but Mackenzie Adams a little bit better passer than Chris Nixon. Wide Looking over the middle, George Schmidt breaking some tackles. First down at the 39, make it the 38.
Up, no penalties, kill the clock.
And maybe a free 5. There's John Chavis standing up, the defensive coordinator. And
Please reset the clock to 34 seconds.
for this Tennessee defense a year ago, they were giving up some plenty of rushing yards, but toward the end of the year they started playing better, and they've carried it over.
Down in 5 now with 33 seconds to go. Here's Adams, stands tall in the pocket over the middle, looking for Jamie Graham, and it's picked off. Brent Vincent still on his feet. Vincent being chased down by Jennings and finally pushed out by Justin Wheeler. But a huge return, and then a late flag comes in as well with 14 seconds to go before halftime, so Tennessee has a chance for more points.
Boy, Dave, this is a well-thrown ball by Mackenzie Adams, and Graham never looks for the football, and the ball hits him right in the chest and bounces into the Brent Vincent's hands. And what a tremendous return. Ends up being like a punt return for him.
71 yards, Arch, on the return.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 21. A penalty will be half the distance to the goal. First down.
I laughed. Steve Shaw a little bit out of breath. A lot of running for Steve.
Right down through the middle. Ball's going to hit him right in the hands and just bounces in the air. Careens off another Tennessee defender. But he just didn't look for the football quick enough, and it got on him before he could see it, and then Vincent intercepts and does a nice job of Tennessee to transition to an offensive football team once you get the ball in your hands. That's something that Tennessee does as good as anybody in the country. When one of their defenders picks off a pass, they become offensive immediately. Good blocking down the field.
So that's 2 interceptions today for Tennessee. That gives them 17 on the season. B.J. Coleman looking, firing out of the back of the end zone. That'll leave 10 seconds on the clock. Chance for perhaps 2 plays.
I think they're going to go ahead and take the 3 right here. They got a young quarterback. They're concerned about not getting the points.
Tennessee crowd wants one more shot anyway.
You have time. You certainly have time for another shot. And he had a receiver open in the back line, just didn't see him. And I think the inexperience of quarterback here forces Philip Fulmer's hand here a little bit.
There are no timeouts for Tennessee, so basically you would be risking not being able to get a playoff if you weren't able to get out of bounds or throw an incompletion. There's Daniel Lincoln from 24, so Tennessee with a free 3, if you will. With 4 seconds left before halftime, and this Tennessee team leads 20-0 over Vanderbilt. And the way this started offensively, it looked like it was going to be a long day for Tennessee, but behind a stellar, stout defense, they've been able to put 20 on the board. This is an offense, by the way, that came in averaging just 16 points a game. As far as Vanderbilt is concerned, there's still plenty to play for. They have 6 wins, making them obviously bowl eligible, but certainly the pecking order, if you can win a couple of games down the stretch, gets a lot better for you. You know, the tie-ins to for the SEC include BCS, obviously, Capital One, Outback, Cotton, Chick-fil-A, Music City, Liberty, Independence, and Papa John's. And the payouts are, well, I was looking at some of the numbers. If you get to the BCS, you get $17.5 million.
A little bit of money involved there.
The SEC might have a chance for 2 of those spots in the BCS. That's a lot of loot. Just give me my little piece, that's all. Football's free on the ground, and that will do it. Boy, a half that I think Bobby Johnson will like to burn. And a good half by Tennessee. After a week off, they come ready to play here in Nashville and lead it 20-0 after 30 minutes of football. Let's go down to Dave Baker. Buzz.
Philip, that first play, you had an interception, your defense bowed its neck, and ever since then you guys have had a stranglehold on it.
Defense has played extremely well, you know, and the change-ups at quarterbacks, to them make a play or two has really helped us along the way, too. So we're playing good right now, particularly defensively.
All right, thanks, Philip. Best of luck second half. That's Philip Fulmer, as his team, as Dave Neal said, only averaging 16 a game, up 20-0 here at the half in Nashville.
SEC football is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts.
Number 79 was not up on.
Vanderbilt heading to the postseason. The Tennessee Vols playing for pride. And it's been the visiting Volunteers who have dominated this one 20-0 at the half here in Nashville. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dave Baker. Welcome back into RAYCOM Sports coverage of Southeastern Conference football. 16 points per game is what Tennessee has been averaging. 20 points they put on the board. They got 2 big picks in the first half, including Eric Berry, who brought one back the distance. I'm telling you, he is a special, special player that we're seeing here in the SEC. All right, now, as far as the postseason goes, the SEC championship standings, talking about the Gators, they've already clinched their way into the SEC title game. And there you see Vandy with that 6-4 record. And in the West, Alabama with that perfect mark heading into the Iron Bowl. The Crimson Tide, the pride of the Southland Band, performing here at Vanderbilt Stadium, and they've had plenty to play about here in the first half of play as the Vols lead the doors 20-0. And there you see the skyline in Nashville, Tennessee, and the High Cathedral of Country Music, the Ryman Auditorium, just up West End Avenue here from Vanderbilt Stadium. And time now for our Cooper Tires, much better than Vanderbilt to this point.
You're exactly right, Buzz. This has been an impressive showing by Tennessee, especially after the way this thing started. It could have gone downhill in a hurry, but I'm impressed with the way Tennessee has come out. And really, here's a look at our first half stats, and it got started because they utilized and established the run.
Yeah, they didn't have very good field position early. Tennessee took care of things on defense, and then they were able to flip the field. The offense took advantage of it, but really it's been about Tennessee's defense. Eric Berry intercepts a pass. He takes it back for a touchdown. That created the difference early in the game, and then all of a sudden, another turnover. A throw down through the middle that should have been caught. Vincent picks it off, and he's going to take this one all the way down inside the Vanderbilt red zone area, and it's going to result in a field goal, and that's the difference in the game.
Take a look at our Infinity halftime statistics, and the Vanderbilt side, nothing pretty about that at all in any shape or form.
No, 25 yards of offense is not going to get anything done for you. Taking care of the football, not getting that done either. And these two teams combined 3 for 13 on third down.
The understatement of the year for my boy Arch. 25 yards isn't going to get it done. Well, in the SEC, every yard can make a difference this season. That's doubly true. Yesterday, we were with Jim Smits right down from the stadium on the Vanderbilt campus to celebrate the Regions Bank Life Green Checking and Savings. As part of SEC Yards for Trees, Regions will plant a tree for each yard gained by both teams in the SEC Game of the Week. To learn more, visit regions.com/green. So far, folks, an amazing 8,769 total trees have been planted. We are just a couple of minutes away from second half football. Can Vanderbilt get back in it? We'll find out. Stay with us.
Bass Pro Shops presents the Catch of the Week. Georgia wide receiver A.J. Green caught a game-winning touchdown in the fourth quarter for the second straight week as Georgia edged out Auburn 17-13.
Stafford stands up, fires over the middle. Touchdown, A.J. Green.
And that was our Bass Pro Shops Catch of the Week.
Jim, when you touch down at Hampton, you wake up a winner.
That's right, Tracy. Thanks to their complimentary hot breakfast.
Omelet. Sausage.
French toast sticks.
I love French food. And sticks.
At Regions, over 8 million customers have come to expect more strength and more stability. And across 16 states, those customers are taking it.
Is being brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, by Carrabba's Italian Grill, by Cooper Tires.
Famous Broadway Street, downtown Nashville. Had a chance with some of the crew to go down there and experience a little bit of the nightlife. And as always, RAYCOM Sports is proud to bring you SEC football in high definition where available. Let's go downstairs, check in with Dave Baker. Buzz?
Bobby, Bobby, talk a little bit. You got that first interception and weren't able to capitalize on it, and it just went a little downhill from there.
Well, we just were terrible on offense. We didn't take care of the football. We didn't execute, and we put our defense in too many bad situations.
But it's obviously something you have corrected before this season.
Well, we have one. We're expecting to come back and be a whole lot better than we were in the first half. We got to be.
All right, thanks, Bobby. We appreciate it.
Well, this Vanderbilt team, as Buzz alluded to, they have, in 5 of their 6 wins, they have had to come from behind to do it. And they'll need a major restructuring here in the second half. Down 3 scores on a cold afternoon here at Vanderbilt Stadium on Senior Day. 21 seniors playing their last home game for the Commodores. But Philip Fulmer talked about today, Baker, about how good his defense has been today.
It's a swarming defense. It's really what Tennessee has been about for a number of years under Philip Fulmer and John Chavis, is get after you physically, wear you down, hit you as many times as you can, and then when they get the opportunity, when they get their hands on it, they turn it into points.
This was the last interception, actually a well-thrown ball from Mackenzie Adams that was picked off by Vincent, returned 69 yards, and set up the final 3 points of the first half for that man's defense. How about that? Wow. That is complete, total domination. Vanderbilt will have the football here to open the second half. Comes down to Gaston Miller. And Gaston out over the 30 to the 34-yard line. Let me run through this real quick for you. Vanderbilt had 7 possessions in the first half. 2 of those went for positive yards. 1 drive was for 0 yards, and 4 possessions resulted in negative yardage. There's a look at it. And Mackenzie Adams will come in and take over at quarterback, at least for the moment, for starter Chris Nixon. And I thought Adams came in and gave him a little bit of spark. And as I said a moment ago, that pass that was intercepted from my vantage point looked like it was a really good throw.
Well, the first thing they need to do is try to win on first down. They've got to try to get positive yardage on first down, and they don't get it right here. And that's been a major reason why they've struggled here early in the game, as Tennessee is winning on first and second down. Now all of a sudden you're behind the chains, as Buzz talked about in the first half, and you've got no chance to win.
Where the defense and offensive lines of Tennessee have come out and played extremely well to this point.
Now this allows Tennessee to go to some of their exotic stuff. Now 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers.
Good throw to the wide side of the field. That's caught by Justin Wheeler, the junior, out of North Augusta, South Carolina, with the
putting it out.
So at least they have a manageable third down. 3rd down and 5. Nixon, quick throw again, the slant. And that should be good enough for a first down this time. Boy, first down production not good for Vanderbilt. We'll try to improve on that here. Barden makes the catch, makes a man miss. And they will spot the ball inside Tennessee territory at about. Adams steps up and fires again, and this was nearly picked off. This time Rogan just missed out on the interception, and looking for Brandon Barden, the tight end. Boy, this group is just stalking the football.
It looked like the defender arrived a little bit early on the play, too. And a ball that was batted in the air, Rogan came up a little bit short. It looked like the Tennessee defender arrived just a hair early on that one.
Now it's 3rd down and 4. It's like some heat's coming from the outside from Eric Berry. And here it comes. And no, there's a flag. It took a while. Barden,
blitz look. He's going to throw the side adjustment, which means the receiver and the quarterback are on the same page. He breaks his route off to a slant. Boy, a bang play there. Morley maybe just a tad early. I thought the other one was a little bit more definitive than that one was.
2 pass interference penalties against Tennessee here this afternoon. Adams will keep it. He's got some running room, but a flag comes down right in the area of holding.
You reach out and grab. I think that's where the penalty came from.
Here's Jennings, the senior. Gets it down to the 36-yard line.
That allowed Jennings to get into the secondary.
Quick snap. Here's Jennings. And Jennings will be about a half a yard shy of that first down. Dan Williams with the tackle.
Something Tennessee's always done well, Dave, is play defensive up front, play well, active, and disrupt things to allow their linebackers to flow and make plays. On that run prior, they were able to get to that next level and get a block.
There goes a lot of things involved in their lack of success. Mostly it's the guys in the white jerseys on the other side.
Boy, you got that right. They have been flying around.
Gaston Miller checks into the right of Mackenzie Adams. Adams will swing it over here to Miller. He's got some running room. Miller to the 20, down to the 15-yard line.
Time. And, you know, don't discount the fact him standing on the sidelines has not helped him look at what Tennessee was trying to do defensively.
Adams lofts it up to the corner, just off the fingertips of Jamie Graham.
Clean.
Here's Adams. We'll try it again. This time he's looking for Justin Wheeler. Nevin McKenzie on the coverage. Champ.com. With folks getting ready for maybe Thanksgiving. Hard to believe Thanksgiving is already here.
So I think now they should feel like, you know what, we can get something done here in the second half on the offensive side.
It'll be Rogan taking this kickoff, a short kick. And Rogan out to the 29-yard line. Be sure to join us next Saturday. You guys wouldn't even miss me. Log on to SECRoadTripPlanner.com and find the quickest routes and all the info you need traveling around the SEC, provided by Regions Bank.
That wouldn't happen as far as you know.
Right. First play to Lennon Creer, nothing territory. The average starting position in the first half, the average was their own 46.
Well, already they've won on first down, so now they the next level, and I guarantee you Bobby Johnson talked about step by step. Let's win on first down, then second down. It's very simple, but that's what Vanderbilt does defensively.
Gerald Jones in at quarterback. We've seen Eric Berry take a couple of snaps today. Oh, and the fullback Cooper just tripped himself there, crossing the line of scrimmage. He had a chance to pick up a few extra yards. Picks up about 3.5, maybe 4 on the play. Cooper a little frustrated.
It should be only it's the 4th carry of the year.
Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by ICB Construction Management, located in Choctaw, Mississippi. Boy, this would be huge for Vanderbilt to come up with a stop here.
Well, in this game last year, Vanderbilt did a great job on third down. Just 2 for 12 was Tennessee last year in this game.
With that timeout, we'll step aside as well. Back in a moment. 3rd down and 5 coming up. Tennessee trying to keep this drive alive.
3 down linemen, 7 defensive backs in the game for Vanderbilt.
B.J. Coleman back in at quarterback. Fires and nearly picked off, but it's caught by Austin Rogers, and that will be a first down. Ryan Hamilton nearly had the interception.
And you can't say enough about Austin Rogers working back to his quarterback. He created a tough angle for DJ Moore to try to break on the football, but Austin Rogers works back. Now watch 21 now. He's got to come back to his quarterback because he's got a ball hawk covering him. Team work back to the quarterback. The ball well thrown to the outside shoulder, and a nice job of getting him the football.
My bad on that. DJ Moore. I said Hamilton. DJ Moore with a chance for that interception. Here goes Lennon Creer. He's bumped out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Myron Lewis will get credit for the tackle. And for our Woodman of the World scoreboard. NC State putting it on North Carolina. Wow.
That ACC is tough to figure out.
It's a mess. And Florida 35-0 over the Citadel.
Interesting situation there for Urban Meyer. How long does he play his players to keep that role they've got going down in Gainesville?
Yeah, tough stretch for the Gators next week, Florida State, and then the SEC title game. And Creer will pick up the first down. Of course, you can say the same thing about Alabama. Next week they got Auburn in the SEC title game. By the way, speaking of that, how good is that game going to be in Atlanta on December 6th?
Forward to that one.
First down and 10 for Tennessee. Gerald Jones back in at quarterback. Here goes Jones. Tried to get the block, but still on his feet. Myron Lewis finally slings him.
Real player.
Coordinator right there, Bruce Fowler. Eric Berry now in at quarterback. On a second down and 18. Here's Berry already with one touchdown today on an interception. He will pick up a dozen. Myron Lewis pushes him out of bounds. Well, this offensive line is creating some space.
Little hesitation from Berry and his counter back inside behind the block of Kevin Cooper right there.
Boy,
excellent block on excellent block on Ryan Hamilton, the safety. And Berry with the speed gets up and makes it a decent third down. Third in the long 8 here.
Look at the rushing yards today. Tennessee at 131. Tennessee came in averaging 104 on the ground. That's 11th in the league, 105th in the country. B.J. Coleman back in at quarterback. Here comes some heat from Vanderbilt. Tennessee picks it up. Pass is caught by Denarius Moore, and he's pushed out of bounds at, they will spot it at about the 42-yard line.
If you come with pressure on third and long, which is this category is third and long, third and 8 or 9, what you're trying to do is get the quarterback, force him to get the football out of his hands quickly. He does that. Deron Speed came with pressure off the edge from the nickel spot. The throw was quick, and then Rashad Langford came up and made the tackle before the first down marker.
So it's 4th down and 6. Here comes Britton Colquitt. He has forced 10 fair catches this year. 8 punts, been down inside the 20 out of his 32. He'll try to pin the doors here. That ball will just trickle into the end zone. That was close to being perfect. Well, Vandy's down 17. They need to get it going. We'll see if they can after a word from your local stations. Downright cold. But a guy from Idaho, though.
No, not a problem. And let's see if Mackenzie Adams can stay hot. He was hot to start the second half here.
Adams will swing it near side, and Jennings drops the football. Remember, Jared Hawkins, the team's leading rusher, left the game earlier in the first half with some kind of ankle or leg injury, and have not seen him since. And here's the first drive of the second half that was pretty good by Adams.
Well, he did a nice job of getting the ball out of his hands, and they did a nice job of getting up on the second level against the run game. But I thought Mackenzie Adams was the key. He got the ball out on time, and it led to a field goal.
Looking for the tight end, Brandon Barden. Incomplete. Robert Ayers, the defensive end, slips out to cover the tight end. 5 incompletions in a row now for Mackenzie Adams.
And that interception should not be on his docket. He hit Jamie Graham right in the middle of the chest just before the end of the first half. That ended up in a big return and led to a Tennessee field goal. And now once again, third and long. Now Tennessee dials up some of their exotic stuff out of a 3-man line.
They will bring 5. Adams throwing behind Sean Walker, incomplete, and it's 3 and out for the Doors. D'Angelo Willingham on the coverage.
Now, Vanderbilt loses on first down. They do a nice job. They design a play where Jennings slips in the flat. Mackenzie Adams is on the money with the throw, and it's dropped. And at that point on, they work out of a long yardage situation. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Hey, David, it's got to be pleasing to John Chavis. You know, so many things have happened this year that he's unaccustomed to. You know, obviously what's going to go down at the end of the season. In fact, he's up in the box, and I'm sure we'll talk about it some more. But it just struck me at this point in time in a game, you know, what his emotions must be like, as emotional as he was with us the other day, Dave Neal.
Yeah, it was, you know, it was a call where you just kind of threw it out there, Buzz, and let him go. And, you know, a lot of attachment, obviously, to the university for Philip Fulmer and John Chavis. They've been a lot of those guys on that staff, but Chavis and Fulmer have been attached at the hip for a long time now.
Yeah, he said, Dave, that there was a player named Daryl Hardy who played for him, I want to say back in the 80s, who called him the week before, and he said he'd really been having a tough time dealing with it. But he said the Daryl Hardy phone call really put in perspective what coaches do, and it kind of set him free. And I think we'll see John Chavis on the sideline somewhere next year.
Yeah, what he has meant to the players that have played for him, that's really resonated with him when his former players called and talked to him about it.
Here goes Montario Hardesty. He'll get a couple on that. But
well, the impact that coaches have on your life, I can think back to coaches that I have all the way back to Little League football, and they have impact on you, and in fact it impacts your life outside the game. And all these guys that for Tennessee that probably will be coaching someplace else have all had that impact on a number of people, regardless of whether they went on to play pro football or they're in the business world somewhere.
5 defensive back package, the nickel look from Vanderbilt. And Coleman will keep it working the left side on second down, give him a yard. That'll bring up a third down and about 7, maybe 6. Well, be sure to warm your soul with new fall specials from Carrabba's.
Nice.
Thank you. There's a, and I think Philip Fulmer, while he was catching some heat this season for what was going on with his team on the field, it won't be long before the Tennessee fans realize what a special run they've had under the coach for 17 years. Picked off. Rashard Langford will take it to the end zone. 43 yards, and the Doors are back in it. Boy, did Vandy need a play defensively, a spark, and they got it out of the senior from Tanner, Alabama, Rashard Langford.
Well, Langford does an outstanding job at his play in the flat, and really a poor throw by Coleman, but
and a flag is down as the point after is blocked. I think we'll be doing this again. And a loose football, and Perry, we're still running and rambling. And it may be for just basically practice. Find the half the distance, keep it where it is, and they'll do it again. And this time it works perfectly for the Commodores. So Tennessee with 10 points off of a couple of Vandy turnovers, and now Vandy gets on the board after an interception. It is 20-10.
Langford, a little slight roll for the quarterback. Langford widens with the roll of the quarterback and just gets underneath Gerald Jones. A pretty easy play for Langford. His 46th consecutive start. Here's Langford right here. Just going to float underneath the play and take it away. Wily old veteran there. 46 consecutive starts at the safety spot for Van.
First down, and that's how they got in a position to make that pick.
Here's the kick from Brian Honfeld. This will sail down to the 5. Dennis Rogan. Rogan out to the 30. And Honfeld slows him down long enough. But a good return out to the 46-yard line, a 41-yard return for Dennis Rogan. Well, all season long, Vanderbilt Anchor Walk. For the 4th straight year, the authentic anchor is a symbol of team unity. 2 players are selected to carry the anchor to and from the Doors locker room. And that is our champion, How You Play. Carried out today by Stephen Stone and George Smith. A couple of veterans on this team. Gerald Jones now in at quarterback. And Jones dropped by Ryan Hamilton. Gain of 1.
Now Vandy's challenging Tennessee to throw the football because Hamilton now is creeping up further and further out of the secondary to play on the line of scrimmage. That's his 7th tackle on the day, and for most of the second half now he has been standing near the line of scrimmage, and he's a safety.
There's Bruce Fowler. See what he has dialed up as Eric Berry now checks in. Barry dancing around, still on his feet. Barry, and it might have been, it looked like he grabbed a face mask. DJ Moore rides him out.
Outside and inside and giving Tennessee no place to go.
Yeah, that face mask, they allow the stiff arm to hit the face mask, but once you grab your fingers around it, that's usually a flag. And Barry got away with one, and the play clock runs out.
It's not played.
And of course, coming off that interception that went back for a touchdown, that can't do much for your confidence. UT last 5 plays, they've lost 2 yards and had an interception. Coleman keeps it out to the 41-yard line, and he is thrown to the ground by Patrick Benoit and Ryan Hamilton. Benoit now with 8 tackles. Hamilton with 7.
Special teams, kickoff returner, he covers kicks for him.
Colquitt with a good kick. Fair catch called for by Jamie Graham, and he will field it at the 22-yard line. A 38-yard punt, no return. And with 92 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
I would think Vanderbilt, now taking over the football, has got some confidence on offense. Their defense has gotten them back in the game with the Langford interception. They moved the football well to start the half. Mackenzie Adams has been able to find something, getting the ball out on time.
Swing it. Well, they've been trying that play all day today, and it hadn't worked.
Well, to the short side of the field, you got to be careful now because the corner will roll up. He's peeking in the backfield, and he's going to turn the receiver loose because he knows he has safety help over the top.
Vandy's last possession was 3 and out. They threw the ball 3 times. They open up this series with another pass. Barton had it in his hands and then dropped it. 3 white jerseys were around Brandon, including Rico McCoy.
Well, it's the second series in a row now for Vanderbilt where they've had a play on first or second down where they've dropped the football. Last time it was on first down by Jennings. Here Barton drops on second down, which would certainly put him in a 3rd and short situation.
And that's 7 misfires in a row through the air for the Commodores. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Pressure comes. Adams going to have to run out of there. Adams to the 32-yard line. That'll be about a yard shy of that first down marker. D'Angelo Willingham with the tackle.
He's going to get heat off his backside and just try to extend the play. Rico McCoy, the linebacker, coming on the blitz. And then he just tried to take care of the football. Looked like he had Walker maybe available on the sideline, but decided to tuck it.
So 4th down and inches. Vanderbilt doesn't know what to do. They're going to have to probably call a timeout. Bobby Johnson's hot. I think he's hot about the spot. And he will get the timeout right now. And Bobby Johnson, you know, since they've had a season like this, you got to go back to like President Franklin Roosevelt, Harry Truman, and in '56, Dwight Eisenhower. 1982, President was Ronald Reagan. The team went 4-2, and the SEC tied for 3rd. I mean, this is favored over Tennessee for the first time since 1984.
And you could almost see that it was kind of unsettling to.
Yeah. It's a right foot spot. Never quite heard that before. Incomplete. Getting a little chippy down there on between the Vandy O line and the Tennessee D line. Well, they've missed their last 9 passes, Arch, so maybe it is time to get back on the ground. That's what they do here, and that didn't work.
Well, they know the spread, no option element involved. It's just a read play for Mackenzie Adams. He's either going to hand it to Jennings or keep it. And Tennessee's done a nice job of defending that part of it. Good job by Rico McCoy and Robert Ayers there.
Jennings, the senior, getting the bulk of the work. Actually got the start today on senior day. And then Hawkins comes in and gets hurt. So it's been basically Jeff Jennings and Gaston Miller. That'll do it for the 3rd quarter. We've got an interesting game. 3 of the last 4 between these 2 clubs have been decided by a touchdown or less. We're headed in that direction today. 4th quarter football is on the way. Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and RAYCOM Sports is prohibited. It is a cool would be generous day. A generous word to use. It is a cold day. 20-10 our score. We begin the fourth quarter. Mackenzie Adams going up top. Overthrows Jamie Graham. Taking a look at our AT&T stats through 3 quarters, and Vanderbilt still struggling. They remember that at halftime they had 25 yards of offense, and of course turnovers have been a big story today. Get a behind-the-scenes look at some of your favorite teams and players at AT&TBlueRoom.com/sports.
Well, they had what they wanted on third down. Tennessee came with pressure, man coverage, and Mackenzie Adams just overthrew his receiver.
Upson's punt. Taken by Gerald Jones. He bounces off a couple of gold jerseys. Falls forward for a couple of yards on the return. 20-10, Tennessee with the football when we come back. Close event the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. 20-10 our score, 14:46 to go here in the fourth quarter. Dave Baker, Dave Archer, Dave Neal with you from a cold Vanderbilt Stadium. 103rd meeting between these two clubs. First down and 10. Hand off to Creer, breaking some tackles, uses a stiff arm, picks up 13 yards and a first down.
Boy, that's where if you're Bruce Fowler, defensive coordinator, you're just banging your head against the wall. He dials up a blitz. Patrick Benoit comes through clean and just misses the tackle. He's right there. You know, credit Creer for making him miss, but he turns into a first down run, and it looks like you're going to get a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, he's not happy right now.
He called the right play. You just got to make the play when you're there.
There goes Cooper in motion. The handoff will go to Creer, and this time the Vandy defense steps up. Gain of about 2. TJ Greenstone bringing them down.
So this Vandy defense came in with some serious numbers. They played at a really high level, certainly here in the second half.
Gerald Jones back in at quarterback. This time he will hand it off to Creer, and Creer hit at about the 49 by Patrick Benoit, the first man on the spot. You know, there aren't, other than, you know, DJ Moore, of course, is a pretty well-known name, but this has been a kind of a low-profile Vandy defense that's gotten it done. DJ Moore getting most of the headlines, but this has just been a good, confident group defensively.
And a group that's played together a lot, especially the secondary.
Gerald Jones will stay in at quarterback in the G-gun. And Jones with a stiff arm makes one man miss, and then is hammered out of bounds by Langford, but he picks up the first down. Gain of 6 on the play. Good job by Gerald Jones.
Again, just the athleticism of Gerald Jones. He's able to beat Myron Lewis to the corner, number 5. He was able to get out of the way of that, and then Langford came up and lowered the boom. But for Philbert Fulmer, his offense has got another first down.
And Jonathan Crompton looks like he's back in at quarterback now. And Creer, after a gain of a couple, hit by Ryan Hamilton.
They keep trying to sprinkle Crompton and Coleman into the game to just have a presence that they might throw the football, because Vanderbilt now beginning to sell out. Safeties creeping up near the line of scrimmage. A lot of blitzing from linebackers. There's the results of what the quarterbacks have been able to do today.
I don't know that I've ever seen a game where we've had 4 quarterbacks run in there.
Well, and to be honest, the 2 most effective guys have been Jones and Barry. And Vanderbilt realizes that, and they're challenging them to throw the football.
Here goes Cooper in motion again. Crompton will hand it off to Creer. Loose football. Who's got it? I think Vanderbilt might have come away with it. And they have it. Well, that looked like Creer just dropped it.
A late strip as he goes into the line of scrimmage. He's going to get stripped late. Again, Benoit fighting on the inside.
He just dropped it.
Yeah, the ball just came out, and then Langford looked for the senior.
So how about Langford's day today on his senior day, as you mentioned?
Coming up big.
Boy, turnovers have played a big part in today's scoreboard. 11:44 to play in the game. Vandy down 10. Here's Adams. Good slant caught by Walker. Gain of 5. That's been a big reason Bobby Johnson highlights. You even talk about it too. That's one of the 3-4 main things you got to do to be successful.
Well, and they've done a nice job throughout the year of cashing it in. This is their opportunity here.
Adams hit and dropped back at the 33-yard line. Robert Ayers with another big play.
Well, just zone coverage, and for some reason Mackenzie Adams holds the football a little longer. He has Walker open over the middle and just did not throw him the football. And then Ayers breaks down protection physically and gets to the quarterback.
Tennessee came in last in the league with 15 sacks. They've had 5 today. Pressure comes. Here goes Adams. Cuts it to the outside. Adams to midfield, and he has the first down. What a run by Vincent, the sophomore corner. On that Tennessee sideline, he's getting attended to by the medical staff.
The confusion here from Vanderbilt. Their wide receivers a little unsure about what's going on.
Play clock down to 5. And major confusion results in a major loss. Dan Williams will pick up another sack. That is number 6.
Well, they wanted to throw the bubble screen to the right side, and Sean Walker didn't get a chance, didn't get the call. See, their linemen releasing out to get in front of the screen, and Mackenzie Adams couldn't throw the football because Walker ran down the field to block. He had no one to throw the ball to.
You know, at that point, I think Adams has got to burn a timeout. Pass over the middle, looking for Walker, incomplete.
Well, the problem with that is that he doesn't realize that his receiver didn't get the call. He makes the call at the line of scrimmage. It looked like the 2 receivers to his left were confused, but Walker was locked in, and when they ran the play, Sean Walker went down the field to block.
This has been a group that hasn't really thrown the ball much. They've worked on this kind of little option game, the wide receiver option, and we haven't seen that at all today for the most part.
No, not a lot of that rocket sweep that they like to use where they bring somebody in motion. And here, a desperate situation at 3rd and long. Tennessee will play zone.
Academy Sports down and distant marker tells you it's 3rd and 17, and that's incomplete. Intended for Sean Walker. Willingham on the coverage, and now you're looking at a 4th down at 17 for the Doors, and here comes the punt team.
Well, another nice job by Tennessee's defense in the sudden change situation. The fumble, they were able to come up and shut down Vanderbilt's offense. Angelo Willingham comes in and knocks the football down on the slant route. That's been the one that he has most success with. Mackenzie Adams throwing to the wide side of the field.
Punt by Upson. Will hit it to 10 and sail into the end zone by a foot or 2. So Tennessee will have the ball at the 20-yard line with 9:15 to play. 56-yard punt. Back in a moment. We're still dancing despite, well, I guess we got to dance. It's the only way to stay warm. Maybe a cup of coffee and bundle up. 20-10, Tennessee out in front. Vanderbilt has scored 10 points here in the second half as Gerald Jones back in at quarterback. Here's Jones. Out to the 25, to the 26-yard line. Chris Marr brings him down. Vanderbilt had 25 yards of offense in the first half. the Woodman scoreboard. Ohio State having little trouble with Michigan. Speaking of Michigan, there are only 3 teams that have, in the history of major college football, that haven't had an 8-loss season. One of them you can put by the wayside. Michigan was one, Ohio State's the other, and the other school that's never lost 8 games in a season right here, Tennessee, trying to avoid that. That's a first down for the Big Orange. I mean, think about how many years we've been playing. Series go back, you know, to the 1890s and stuff. This one goes to 1890, I believe, 1892. And the program has never had an 8-loss season. It's remarkable.
It is. It really is. I mean, it's an incredible stat. Those 3 are now 2 schools that have been able to hang on to that. Tennessee obviously trying to avoid that.
First down at 10 for the Vols. There goes Arian Foster, making some guys miss. First time we've seen Arian make an impact today. A 20-yard pickup for Arian Foster. That is the second rush for 20 or more yards today by Tennessee.
Well, this is the young man that was going to be the bell cow for this Tennessee offense, was Arian Foster. And injuries and
I guess offensive philosophy also.
Philosophy has probably hurt him. You know, we kind of wondered why he wasn't carrying the ball as much as he did last year. Only 15 carries, I think, in the first game of the year against UCLA. I think he was kind of wondering, hey, how many times I'm going to touch the football? And that might be another reason why he's not played as much.
Foster needed 2 yards to move into second place all-time at Tennessee in terms of career rushing yards, and he just did it. And unless Foster has a huge game in the season finale against Kentucky, he will finish behind Travis Henry.
Well, he's one of those kids that decided to come back. Probably could have considered going to the National Football League, but decided to come back and really wanted to win a championship here at Tennessee. But I think he wanted to corral some of those records you're talking about, Dave.
2 years ago against Vanderbilt, he carried the ball 40 times for 223 yards. Stiff arm on Moore. That was going nowhere. Tennessee, since they threw that interception for a touchdown, has now run the ball 14 straight times. Make it 15. Here's Jones dancing around, nowhere to go. Loses a couple of more yards. Steven Stone, the junior out of Conway, Arkansas, with the tackle. Leading Vanderbilt 20-10, but the Volunteers line up to punt on a 4th down and 13. Britton Colquitt will stand at his own 45. And he will angle for the side. Let's see if he can pin Vandy back, and it looks like he will do a pretty good job of that. They will mark it at the 10, so a good kick from Britton Colquitt, a 31-yard punt. Arch, all day, Vandy's offense has really been stuck in the mud. Where do they go to move the football?
Well, I think they're just going to get back to doing what they've been doing and throwing the football short. Mackenzie Adams not a big down-the-field thrower, so you expect him to throw the ball underneath. Try to get somebody the football on the move. They've got a number of players that can run with the football. They've had a tough time catching it a few times, but a little surprised that DJ Moore has not been in the game more. He is coming in now. Just 8 times he's been in the game and run the football 1 time. If nothing else, Dave, certainly Tennessee has to pay attention to where DJ Moore is, and it might open somebody else up.
So DJ Moore will line up in the slot. Here's Adams looking for Moore over the middle. He catches the ball, dancing around, gets the first down at the 20. Adams, by the way, today now 10 out of 24 through the air. Good throw and catch.
Gotten windier throughout the day. It's tough to tell. I can tell you that the temperatures have dropped substantially.
I couldn't tell by your slurred speech.
The pry lips apart.
Adams chased down.
Buzz, the trainer's on his way in case you need him.
Happy birthday to you too, Mr. Neal.
Ah, yes.
Oh, man.
You got a heater up there in that box,
I do.
do you?
I do. I do.
You do.
Thank you for asking.
Tim's probably already out warming up the car, isn't he?
I think Buzz is angry.
No, good.
Second down and 10. Pass incomplete. Rogan on the coverage, looking for George Smith a little bit behind him. That'll bring up a 3rd down at about 9. Florida out 49-6 over the Citadel. Clemson beats Virginia 13-3. Ohio State a winner today.
That throws.
That's the one right there. That's just perplexing. 41-10.
It's unbelievable. Now Virginia Tech probably has the inside track to that side.
Arkansas and Mississippi State tied up at 14. Here's Mackenzie Adams to throw off, sit up, looking for the tight end Barden, who got hung up at the line of scrimmage and just couldn't release. And now you're looking at a 4th down and 10. You have 1 timeout left because they lost one on a challenge.
Well, just not the throw you want to make either. You got the tight end running a wheel route and really not the guy you want going vertical. Try to find one of your speedsters coming over the middle of the field, and DJ Moore now is going to check back in here as Vandy obviously will go for it here on 4th and 9. Now, this is where Tennessee has come with pressure and tried to get the ball out of Mackenzie Adams' hands quickly and played man coverage. Looks like they're going to do it here.
There's Moore. What a catch! Moore down to the 38-yard line. He catches balls you don't even think are catchable. Oh, that pass could have been picked off. Adams getting a little careless, looking for Jeff Jennings.
Yeah, late pressure from Tennessee, and he was trying to find his check down and really threw it into coverage and wide to Jennings. Well, they're picking, choosing their shots with DJ Moore. DJ not on the field here. Alex Washington checks in.
John Chavis trying to dial up a good play here for his Vol defense. Jamie Graham on the near side, split out wide. Haven't seen much of him today. Boy, Graham was wide open in the middle of the field, and they threw the long out looking for the tight end Barden. But Graham, 25, was easily had at least a 7-yard gain.
Well, look for over the middle. You'll see Graham. There he is right there. That's your little dump versus Vancouver. There he is right there in the middle of the field.
Graham missed last week with a bad ankle, but he's back and healthy. We'll see if he gets involved on this play. 3rd down and 10. Barden again.
Wow. Now Barden comes in with, came into the day with 22 receptions and had been a pretty reliable target. The 2nd most receptions on the team behind Sean Walker, but he has had a tough time squeezing it today.
And DJ Moore now back on the field as it's a 4th and 10 situation again.
The designated 4th down guy. Well, you can bet that there'll be 2 defenders around DJ Moore on this play.
Adams 3 out of 8 for 50 yards on this drive. Hit as he throws. Pass is caught, but I don't think he made the 1st down. He had to get to the 29, and they're going to spot it at the 30. That was Sean Walker with the reception, but that'll give Tennessee the football.
Boy, big lick from Robert Ayers, too, on Mackenzie Adams. It's an excellent job, Mackenzie Adams, getting the ball out, but he takes a big shot just as he lets it go.
You know, I think that forced maybe Adams to throw it a fraction of a second earlier than he wanted, and now Adams looks like he's a little banged up, so he leaves the field. But Tennessee will have it with 4:23 to play. Vanderbilt can only stop it once.
That decision making on 1st and 2nd down really hurt that situation to put yourself in 4th and 10.
Boy, there's Adams under there. You know he is hurting. So Crompton in at quarterback, hands it to Foster. Arian will take it out near the 40. That'll probably be good enough for a 1st down. Ryan Hamilton brings him down. Take a look at our Hampton Inn upcoming schedule, and that man down to 1 final game after he leaves Nashville. And as far as Vanderbilt's concerned, they will take on Wake Forest. Pretty interesting matchup. That series they put together a few years back is the way Wake has played lately. Now Vanderbilt playing better. That turned out to be a nice little season ender.
Really has been, and obviously a lot on the line for Vanderbilt and where they're going to be in the postseason.
So they say it's inches to go for the first down. They'll give it to Foster. And Foster will get 2 on the carry, and that'll be good enough for the first down. Kadri with the tackle. Kadri, by the way, playing for Broderick Stewart. If Vanderbilt fans just joining us wanted to know where number 90 is, their talented defensive end. Big-time ankle injury suffered in the first half, was carted off the field, and certainly send out our best wishes and a speedy recovery to Broderick. Arkansas, Mississippi State still tied at 14.
Yeah, a lot on the line there for the Razorbacks because they can win their last 2. Obviously, LSU comes up this next weekend. If they can win 2, they can get themselves bowl eligible.
Foster making some people miss. Out over the 45 to the 47-yard line. Myron Lewis brings him down.
Very curious situation here with Arian Foster, Dave, coming in now, and the guy trying to salt the game away here for Tennessee running the football. And you know, he had a little bit of a thigh injury last week, and that was why he was unable to line up for the Vols against Wyoming. But he doesn't look like there's anything bothering him right now, and he's stood over on the sidelines all day.
And now he's getting some work, and yeah, that's a weird deal over there. The way this has gone this season for Arian Foster. Out of the I formation, Foster still in at tailback. Cooper the fullback. It'll be Foster. Arian trying to get away from 4 or 5 gold jerseys. Can't do it. John Stokes will get credit for the stop. Look at that, Arch. 28 rushes this half, 3 passes. One of those was returned for a touchdown. One of those passes by Rashard Langford.
And I think that's pretty much when they throttled down the passing game.
Well, 19 rushes in a row.
If you can call it throttling it down.
And Vanderbilt will use a timeout to stop the clock with 1:28 to play and a 4th down coming up. I just, personally for me, I think, Bobby Johnson said all the right things this week about his team and trying to get him refocused. He said he talked to him at length about locking in. But I think that there was so much riding on that game last week for Vanderbilt. And they had that 4-game losing streak, and it was weighing on the team. Bobby Johnson even admitted that there was just so much struggle going on within this club to get 6 wins. And they got it. And I don't care what you say or how you do it. You just can't come out with that fire.
Well, I don't think there's any question that there certainly was a situation where there might be a little bit of a letdown. I would think, though, with Tennessee coming in here, and this game was a great football game last year. Tennessee Vanderbilt misses a field goal at the end to lose 25-24 at Neyland Stadium. But this would have been a game they kind of had circled regardless of what their record was. So a little surprised that Vanderbilt hadn't played better on offense. Now, they've played pretty well defensively. Remember, 10 of these points are results of interceptions have gotten Tennessee their 20 points on the board. Obviously been a defensive struggle.
Tennessee has been held scoreless here in the second half as Vanderbilt tries to get the block. Can't do it. Fair catch called for by Jamie Graham, and Vanderbilt will have the football at the 13-yard line. And Philip Fulmer knows he is down to 4 quarters and 1:21 seconds as the career is over as the Tennessee head football coach. And look at some of those numbers. 74% of the time he won football games. He won 72% of the time in this league. 5 title game appearances, and of course a 1998 national championship. And as I told him earlier, he has been very open with this program when we go in there and work every football season, and we wish him nothing but the best. And he said to us he may take a year off and get the batteries recharged, hang out with his family a little bit, or he may just he says he still has that coaching fire, so we'll see what happens. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Dave, and talking to him down here on the field some more before the game, I think he really loves being a coach and wants to be a coach. The only question for Philip Fulmer is going to be, does he have the passion to do it someplace else other than his alma mater where he's been for so long? I think that'll be the key for him.
Here's a pass to Jennings. That'll be a first down to the 30. Yeah, what do you think, Arch? I mean, you've spent some time around him as well. I mean, do you think that he would be, have the same kind of fire coaching somewhere else as he's had at Tennessee?
I think he would, because that's who he is. He's a football coach, and that's hard to take out of a man. I think that obviously it's going to take him a little while to recuperate and heal from not being a Tennessee coach. But he's a teacher and a guy that likes to influence young men and help them. So does John Chavis.
Well, Sean Walker with a nice catch, got popped right at the end by Alex Wilson, the senior out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Well, you have to push the football down the field now.
Here's Jennings.
So Tennessee will settle for that. These last 40 seconds of the game, they'll allow you to throw the ball underneath, especially short of the first down marker.
And with 0 timeouts remaining, this clock will move until there's either out of bounds or a first down. And Philip Fulmer will likely see his team pick up the win here today. There's a catch by George Smith.
One of the great seniors, Dave, that have played here at Vanderbilt. A guy that's had a tremendous career here, had a tough time with injuries and such, but he's been a soldier for Bobby Johnson.
So Tennessee, pass caught again. Tennessee kind of letting Mackenzie Adams throw those 10 to 15-yard routes all day. Clock stops with 14 seconds on a first down and 10. Now the throw in the old dirt by Mackenzie Adams.
You and I have seen stranger things happen, Dave, in games like this where the clock's winding down. If Adams is able to get this ball in the end zone, now you'll have to get it in the end zone. And I think on this play and then the onside kick, we've seen stranger things happen. Stranger things have happened.
I think there was a date we had back in.
I think Guy Morris is still trying to dry himself off.
I'm trying to remember the year. 02, the Bluegrass Miracle. Yeah, we saw that. So yes, anything is possible. But that'll pretty much end it. No timeouts. That'll be the 7th sack for a team that came in with 15. Philip Fulmer picks up the win. 151 of those as the head coach at Tennessee. He'll go for 152 next week against Kentucky. The Volunteers go to 4-7, 2-5 in SEC play, and the Commodores go to 6-5 and 4-4 in the SEC. We'll be back with more in a moment. Tennessee wins it 20-10 over the Vanderbilt Commodores. Let's go downstairs, check in with Dave Baker. Buzz?
Philip, talk a little bit, being from this part of the state, coming in here and seeing your football team play so well today.
Dave, I'm proud of our football team. I'm proud of our coaching staff. You know, we've hung through a very, very tough month, tough year, really. But these kids haven't had any quit in them. They've really worked hard.
You talked a little bit about all the emotion and how it got to everybody right before that Wyoming game. It looks like they've gotten some time on the practice field, and they came out here and executed the way you thought they could.
Yeah, the open week really helped us. Really helped us emotionally and helped us from a physical standpoint to get well. And we got a lot of good football players, and it hadn't happened perfect for us this year, but today we played more like Tennessee.
Obviously an emotional time for you right now, and it's going to be an emotional week for you.
Oh, it is. It's been a tough go of it. This, coming back to Middle Tennessee, and I appreciate Vanderbilt a lot because they gave me a chance to get back in the SEC in 1979. So a lot of memories on this field as well.
All right, Philip. Congratulations. Best of luck. An emotional Philip Fulmer, Dave.
Yeah, there is no question that Philip Fulmer is, the thoughts going through his mind. He said it's going to be a tough couple of weeks here. You start to think about all the things like this coming back. He probably hadn't thought about it very much about coming back to Vanderbilt, but yet when he comes in today, he knows it's his last time as a Tennessee head coach, and he remembers those people. We were doing a pregame interview with him, and some woman came running down and gave him a big hug, and a Vanderbilt employee who remembered him when he was here. And boy, all those things start to add up, and you start to just continue to see him pour and pour on. And I know next week is going to be just an emotional. He'll be a wreck. So we will come back, have more, and figure out the mics in a moment. Back in a moment. Eddie. On a cold, windy day at Nashville, the Volunteers pick up the win over the Vanderbilt Commodores 20-10. And time for our all-tell players of the game. Eric Berry, of course, had another interception taken back. The guy is just a marvelous player, and DJ Moore, another outstanding game for him. These two guys we talked about in the open, they are just good football players regardless of which side of the field they're on.
You're talking about underclass. You're talking about a junior and a sophomore that really carried the torch for their teams on the defensive side, but yet they had to come to the offensive side to try to rescue their team. Obviously, Eric Berry's interception for a touchdown was a key moment.
And speaking of Eric Berry, he's alongside our own Dave Baker. Buzz?
Eric, talk a little bit about the play. You break a 50-plus year record when you pick that one off and bring it back.
I kind of saw the quarterback peek at him a little bit, and the pressure got to him, so he had to pull it back down. And I guess he thought he was still open and tried to hit him after he beat the rush, but I just kind of read him and broke on him and took it to the house.
When we talked a little bit earlier this week, you talked about how this team, the off week, had really done them well, and the defense came out and played as well as they have all year.
Yeah, we just needed that time to get our minds clear, just get our minds on football and nothing else, and just kind of got rid of the distractions that was going around off the field. So I felt like we did a pretty good job today.
With everything that's happening around Coach Fulmer, how difficult is that going to be to keep all those distractions aside in what's sure to be an emotional week?
I think we got that out of the way with the bye week. Wyoming, you can probably tell, it's probably still on our minds, but I think we got it out the way.
All right, thanks so much, Eric.
That is one special football player, Eric Berry, and we saw DJ Moore today. Those two guys are very talented. But let's talk about, first of all, for this Tennessee football team. You heard Eric Berry talking to Buzz about trying to keep your emotions in check. This was a good win for them. I thought they did some of the things that you would expect of Tennessee. They ran the football when they needed to, and their O-line and D-lines did a marvelous job today.
Well, you heard Philip Fulmer talk about this is Tennessee football, and it was playing hard-nosed defense, taking the football away, getting after the passer, which Robert Ayers certainly did today, and then running the football. They got the ground game cranked up. Now, they did it a lot of ways.
Right.
Had Berry at quarterback, they had Jones at quarterback, but they got enough out of that, and then their defense played solid.
Well, they threw the interception, and then they ran for a touchdown to Rashard Langford, and they ran the ball 19 straight times after that interception. Now, it wasn't exactly an offensive display today when you break down the numbers, and for Vanderbilt, 25 yards on the ground. They could never get it going. As a matter of fact, most of their yards, they picked up 45, 50 yards on that last drive trying to score. They just didn't have anything going offensively.
6 sacks defensively. We talked about the turnovers, the takeaways that resulted in points. But these two teams, it was a defensive football game. These two teams, 8 of 30 on third down. That's not winning football on offense, but it was enough for Tennessee to win.
All right, well, Tennessee will take the win any way they can get it, the way this season has gone. It was number 151 in the career of Philip Fulmer. We'll come back, put the wraps on it. Stay with us. Tennessee beats Vanderbilt here in Nashville, the 103rd get-together between the Vols and the Commodores. And Tennessee has now won 31 of the last 34 in this series. Our final game will be coming your way on Friday, November 29th, and that'll be when we have the battle for the Golden Egg. Mississippi night, the day after Thanksgiving. We will be stuffed pigs by then. Or stuffed turkeys, one of the two. But, let's talk about that season finale game. Obviously, a couple of things stand out to me. First of all, Mississippi State trying to build on time. We'll see Vanderbilt. Of course, Vanderbilt takes on Wake Forest next week. But what a job by Bobby Johnson. He has stayed the course, got his team bowl eligible. Of course, we all know by now they haven't done it since '82.
They do it right. They do it things simple on offense and defense, but they do it as hard as they possibly can. And I don't think you can say enough about his staff as well. They get their people ready to play. A lot of times they're undermanned, yet they come out and they play, and they played extremely well this year. They cashed in on their opportunities. This one got away from them. They got one more next week to determine where they'll go in the postseason.
Exactly, and Bobby Johnson says, with each win, you increase your chances for that better bowl. So next week, a big game for Vanderbilt as well. That'll do it for this one as Tennessee wins. And don't forget, next Friday, 12:30 Central Time, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. So for Dave Baker, Dave Archer, Rob Reichley, our producer, Gary Clem, our director, and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long, everybody. You've been watching RAYCOM Sports' exclusive coverage of SEC football.